Well, guys, it's finally time. After all this waiting, we finally could take apart the Switch. I have it here. It works great. So we're going to finally take it apart. Now the Joy-Cons I will take apart separately in a different video. Right now I just want to focus on the main tablet center unit. And I figure we'll take it apart and see what's going on in there. I have my DSLR, so we'll take some good pictures of everything so you guys can see all the workings going on in here. So let's get started. Alright guys, so before we get too into this, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of advice. If there's something you have never taken apart before and you're concerned about misplacing screws or messing it up if you put the screw in the wrong place or something, I'll show you guys actually a pretty cool way to take care of that. So what you want to do is get a piece of paper. I like one that's like kind of laminated because you can take it back off. Get some packing tape like this. Take a piece of tape off, flip it around kind of on the edges, put it down like this. And when you take the screws off, you can just put them on the right spot. You can even draw if you want, or label what it is. In this case, this will be the back. The reason I like laminate is because you can wipe that off when it's done. And you just put the screws there in order as to how you find it here. So if I'm looking at it from my side, back, I would then take the corners, put one there, one there, one there, one there. The side rails would just go down the sides. The bottom screws here would go on the bottom. And I just do that throughout. So if I get to the motherboard, I would make one here just for the motherboard, lay those screws out, and then when I put it back together, I just take them off in that order, and it goes back together very well. The tape is sticky, so the screws will stay with it. So here we go. We have tri-wings on the back. Not a big deal. And we have Phillips, from what I remember, up the side when I've been looking at this for a while now, so I have an idea of how they were doing this. So let me at least get the side ones off first, since those are Phillips. They'll come apart pretty easily. So those screws just held the railings in. Like I just took that screw off, and the railing wants to come out. So it looks like that's the case for that guy. But keep in mind, remember the railings have that what is it, a way for it to connect. So I don't want to rip at it too much. It looks like, yeah, there is a what am I trying to say? There is a connector of some kind in there. So for now I'm going to leave it like that and do the next one. Alright, I got the tri-wings off. The railings are off. Let me make sure there's no screws under, for example, the game card slot. There was one screw, guys, underneath of the where the SD card plugs in, so be very mindful of that one. I want to carefully lift that away, and the back is now free. Right away, you don't have to undo these railings from what I can tell. They screw in. Oh no, okay, you need to undo the middle screw on each railing to get this guy off. It has what appears to be a like a grip there on the side just to hold the sides down. Definitely the anchor screws are those four tri-wing or tri-point screws in the corners there, so be careful of that. We're getting close to the battery change. The reason I say it probably wasn't a good idea to take these off yet is because these ribbon cables are floating, so you want to be very careful of that. You'll see there, they are kind of just hanging out right there. So I don't want to move it too much until I can get this metal frame off, because then I can kind of look at where they're going and unplug them. So metal frame is up next. I'm going to take another piece of tape. And I already have my back screws all done. The reason, guys, that I use tape instead of getting a magnet cover, which I have magnet covers as well. Screws aren't always magnetized correctly to it, so sometimes they just fall off. See, there's my back, all in order. And we're going to start on the next one.